Welcome, everyone, to the Masters of Travel Advisory Series. And my name is John Werner. I'm the president of MAST Travel Network. We're a network of over 200 travel agencies serving destinations worldwide. And also, river cruising is a big piece of the market for them and the planning they do for their customers. And we have a very special guest on with us today to talk about river cruising. And Archy is from Globus family of brands and Avalon Waterways. So Archie, why don't you introduce yourself?
Of course. Thank you, John. Thank you for having me and Globus Family of Brands. My name is Archy Arushanyan. I'm a National Director of Sales with Globus Family of Brands, representing Globus Cosmos and Avalon Waterways. And today we're chatting about all the wonderful things we have to offer on Avalon Waterways river cruises.
Yeah, and that's great. I'm excited for our conversation because there's so many new things going on at Avalon, and I think your company is very innovative and looking for creating new customer experiences. And some of the things that we can start off with is the Avalon After Dark program, and in some ways, I consider it like the first of its kind in river cruising because I think it is a very well thought out program. What I've read about it, there's a lot of emphasis on the evening experience on board a river cruise. And whereas in the past, it seems like the evening was dinner and then maybe a short time in the lounge before going to bed. But not anymore with Avalon After Dark. So tell us about how Avalon is using the sky deck, for example, at sunset and after dark to bring the beautiful evenings of Europe's cities and towns on board.
Of course. It is very exciting because, as you mentioned, we always look at opportunities to innovate. And of course, we're always listening to feedback from our customers. And so this is how Avalon After Dark came about. And this program officially starting in 2026. And so what it's all about is just to really offer a great options for our customers and our guests to enjoy in the evening. And so what we're doing in 2026, during the summer months when it's nice and warm outside in Europe, we're actually going to have a sky grill dinners. And so imagine being docked in a beautiful location where you have incredible views of the cities. For example, like Budapest, as you know, Budapest is a beautiful city, and the Parliament House and all surrounding areas are all lit up in the evening. It's just magical. And so what we're doing, we actually will be having a sky grill dinners on our top deck, where our guests can enjoy the atmosphere, they can enjoy the meal under the stars, and really kind of soak in all the beauty that that destination has to offer. And of course, part of that experience is our signature cocktail. So we also will be offering wonderful options for the drinks. And I would like to mention that we partnered with Martin Hudak, who is quite well known, and he is an award-winning mixologist who have created a special variety of cocktails for Avalon Waterways. And so our guests get to enjoy not only beautiful meals, but also those signature cocktails that we offer on our cruises.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great. And I personally, as you were talking about the beautiful cities of Europe and Budapest lit up at night, I personally experienced what it was like in Bordeaux, France, at night. The Garonne River cuts through the heart of the city, and it was a wonderful experience sailing up and down that river through the heart of Bordeaux, and all of the lights and the monuments lit up and the buildings. So yeah, it's a beautiful experience, and um, so it's a great way that clients or guests and everything could experience that in Europe because they don't get that kind of experience in other ways. But I know, talking about the signature cocktail, the Panorama Lounge now features so much more than piano music after dinner. There's live music and there's dance themed dance parties and more. You talked about the signature drinks and the nightly drink specials. So how has Avalon changed the entertainment in the lounge and during the evenings?
Of course, and our entertaining kind of been evolving, and once again, based on the feedback from our guests, and also, a lot of customers, part of the river cruise experience is to enjoy those evenings, after dinner, because they have time, it's a vacation, they really want to unwind and enjoy the cocktail or maybe a glass of wine while enjoying local entertainment. And Panorama Lounge is such a great space. I mean, first of all, it's floor to ceiling glass windows, so you kind of feel like you're almost outside because you get those beautiful views. It is very comfortable. We have a nice lounge chairs and lounges, and of course, ambient lighting. And so we do have a variety of entertainment options on each river cruise that we offer. We do work with some really, really great local bands, where they could be anything from jazz to any other kind of style of music, and we do mix it up. So some nights, for example, I actually just came back from one of our cruises. I spent 7 nights in France, Burgundy and Provence, and every night was fun because we had entertainment, and some of the nights we had a dance party where the guests got a list of the songs that we're going to play, and they had to guess which of the songs will get the most participation on the dance floor. And so
Yeah.
it was a bit of a fun, and everybody enjoyed it. It was a white party, so everybody came dressed up in their white outfits, and then it was quite entertaining to watch. When people loved the song that was played, they got on the dance floor, and then at the end of the night, the people that have selected those songs, were our winners. So it's very engaging experience. It's fun. Everybody kind of participates and enjoy the evening. And so that was one of the experiences we had on board. Sometimes we will have a local dancers. We'll have a band and the dancers as well. And so that's also something a bit unique. One of the things we also done on this cruise, and depends on the weather and wind sometimes, we have a cornhole on board, and it's quite fascinating. Such a simple game became such a popular game on board, and so we transformed our panorama lounge into a cornhole competition. So we had guests who joined the team, and our adventure host was hosting this game. And so for a couple of hours, we had the teams competing. We had all the guests cheering for them. It was really a fun experience for everybody. So those are just a couple of snippets of what happening in Panorama Lounge. But I have to say, every night there's something is going on, from band to the games, karaoke night. That's another popular option as well. We get guests who and actually I've been on the cruises when some of our guests, I felt like I was at the concert. Some of them had incredible voice, and I was almost kind of like, well, I'm not singing after them because they were professional. So once again, it was fantastic entertainment. Everybody joins in and really gets behind it. So a lot of fun in the evening on Avalon ship.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound like fun and very wonderful. And of course, Avalon After Dark is not just the what happens on board the ship after dark, but the ships are often in some of the ports overnight, or at least late night. And so I know, you mentioned Budapest and its grand buildings illuminated at night, but the ships are overnight in Vienna. You can go ashore for a classical music concert. In Amsterdam, go for live jazz, or Rudesheim in Germany for the wine taverns. What other nighttime experiences are available in these cities?
So the way we kind of design this program is we obviously have a number of guests that kind of want to go and experience the city, but we want to make sure that it's safe, and they're also going to places that are significant and unique in each location. And so what we've done is we basically organizing for kind of meet and greet in the evening in our reception area. And then we have actually a list of all the wonderful things the guests can experience in that particular location. And as you mentioned, could be anything from going to maybe to a speakeasy bar where they can go and enjoy some wonderful cocktails. And also, it's a very social experience. It's also makes our guests feel safe because they are venturing out with some other guests as well. And a lot of times, we will have a staff member who will actually go with them and take them
Mhm.
to those locations. So it could be anything, as you mentioned, for example, in Vienna, there is an evening concert that our guests can enjoy. So it's one of those unique experiences known for that particular destination. In Avignon, for example, there's a beautiful square where you can go and enjoy, a late snack or even, and maybe even dinner and some cocktails. Sitting in a beautiful square surrounded by incredible old buildings. They have like nice little starlit square. That's kind of that experience. I was just there last week. It was actually magical. And of course, summer is beautiful. Weather is perfect. So it's one of those experiences guests will always remember. But it could be anything from, some people might want to go to a local club and enjoy dancing. We will have that arranged for them as well. It could be, maybe just really hopping around and enjoying different restaurants that maybe offer something unique, dessert. I mean, anything that is unique for a particular destination. I know in Budapest there is a ruin bar which is quite popular, and a lot of guests do enjoy to go and venture out there as well. And then there's a Buda Castle, so that's another beautiful
Yeah.
location too. So plenty of options, and we're actually excited as we kind of grow into this new program in 2026. I'm sure there'll be more
Yeah.
inclusions and more additions to this program. And once again, based on the feedback from our guests, and of course our cruise directors, most of them are local. They are from European cities that we're visiting, so they have a lot of connections and also suggestions where we should be going and what we should be doing. So we heavily rely on our local experience cruise directors as well.
Yeah, no, that's a great benefit to the guest on board to have somebody with that knows the local area. It's a big plus. So let's switch to daytime. And of course, for excursions and sightseeing and so forth during the day, Avalon features three distinct styles in touring. And can you describe each of those and what do guests typically experience on these sightseeing excursions?
Of course. Another benefit of traveling with Avalon Waterways is that we offer a variety of included excursions in each port, where the guests can select three different styles. So we offer classic, active, and discovery styles of excursions. Now, they're all unique, and as I said, it's all about for our guests to choose how they want to spend the day. You usually will have morning excursions and afternoon. So there's also, for some people at home, maybe to sleep in, they want to do something in the afternoon. That's an option. So the classic excursion would be basically us giving them an overview of the city where we're visiting. So it's all about the history of the city, talking about architecture, visiting local churches, even museums. So it's really kind of giving them a good understanding where they at, what that city known for, a bit of a history. We usually have our tour guides that locals, so they will walk them through the city, telling them wonderful stories. I mean, they live there, so they know the city in and out. They know the history and kind of give us behind the scenes experience. And so that's what classic excursion is all about. It's learning about that particular destination, that particular city that we are visiting. And then, of course, we have our active excursions, and that has been really popular because a lot of customers when they travel on vacation, they do want to do things that are active, stay in shape, be a little adventurous. And so what that means is it could be a walking tour. So, but it may be where we're actually going to hike. So it's for the guests that able to do that. So they will be joined by the local guide who will take them on the hike. We could hike to the observation point, for example. They still will learn about the city. They still will get a bit of a behind the scenes information, but that will be in more active kind of way. In some locations, we will do kayaking. So, we'll get into kayaks and see the city from the different perspective, enjoy the city from the water. And once again, they will learn different things about particular location they're in. And then, of course, we have our discovery excursion. So it's all about discovering a local culture. Could be anything from actually doing a painting class. For example, in Arles, where I just was last week, we do a painting class to paint like Van Gogh. So they get a bit of a history about the artist, but then also they get to paint one of the artworks in their, on their own in that same style. And then they get to take home a piece of art that they created in that particular location. So it's a nice way to do something unique. In some other places, it could be a cooking class. They might just learn to cook something that local city or local destination is famous for. They could be cooking a strudel, and then they get to taste it. And so it's really kind of helps our guests to be submerged in that local experience and be part of it. And it's nice. I've done one of the cooking classes, and we went to a local bakery, and we actually we baked bread, and we were in the kitchen. We were learning about that bakery, how long it's been. It's been a family business for a number of years. They were telling us how many things they bake each morning, what kind of things they're known for, and then it's hands-on experience. We get to bake it, we get to see the whole process, and then the best part about it, we actually get to taste it right at the end too. So those are three distinct options that we offer. So classic, active, and discovery, and that's those options are available on our Avalon Waterways river cruises.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. And my personal favorites are like the hiking and biking tours. And you're right, you get the history and the culture as well. And very often you sometimes end up at a winery and you have a wine tasting. So, they're a lot of fun. They're definitely a lot of fun. So, speaking of active, I know you have bikes on board. How many bikes are typically available to guests?
Yes, so on our ships we have 15 bikes that are available, and of course we have 2 electric bikes as well. And the good news is we just upgraded all our bikes on every ship, so they're brand new this year, and those are available for guests to take. If they want to go and explore on their own, they can sign them out. We give them helmet, of course. We show them how to operate if it is e-bike. And then off they go. We also can print them a map, which is very, very easy. But of course, our adventure host, he also does take guests on the biking tours. Actually, one of the fun things that our guests just did on the cruise that I was part of last week was we were sailing from one port to another, but Adventure Host actually took, I think it was 7 guests that wanted to bike from that port to the next port. It was
Oh, yeah.
28 kilometers. So
Yeah.
explain to them that this is the only way to get from point A to point B. So be prepared. We will be biking all the way to our next
Yeah.
location. And those guests did. They really enjoyed it. And of course, we provide them with the water bottles. We have water on board for them
Mhm.
to make sure that they're comfortable for the ride. But and I spoke to a couple of guests, and they said, you know what, that was one of the best things I have done. It was
Yeah.
beautiful and pictures, and of course a great exercise. All those things mixed together, I think it's a win.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's quite thrilling actually, and so speaking of biking and so forth, and you talked about the adventure host. So there's a wellness program is also a very big focus on Avalon, and whether it's yoga, fitness center, of course the bikes, the Avalon Fresh program with its heart healthy menus, you can get smoothies there, part of that. What are the typical menu items and what has been the popularity of this program in terms of guest satisfaction?
It's interesting because we're noticing more and more that, when guests are traveling, they try to stay healthy and fit. And, dining, obviously a big part of that. So on all our menus, we do indicate healthy choice options. So it's really easy for guests to select. We always have a little icons on our menus showcasing the local speciality. So we'll have like a pin drop to let them know that it is a local specialty. And then, of course, we have Avalon Fresh. That's another little icon that basically indicates that this is a healthy option for them to enjoy. And it could be anything from some salad. It could be, grilled vegetables. It could be a mushroom burger. I mean, really, there's a lot of options to choose from, and they change every meal. So they get to taste different things every time they dine. And we just want to make it simple and very easy because we do cater to our guests who really health conscious, and they really want to make sure that as much as they enjoy the cruise, they don't kind of get off track if they are part of that program. There's quite a few other things that we also do on our ships. One of the newest things is that we have a non-alcoholic liquors available now as well. Once again, that's becoming very popular where guests want to enjoy cocktail, but non-alcoholic cocktails. So we have those options on board of Avalon Waterways as well, plenty for them to choose from. And another things that we have on board is in our club lounge, we have a very special water station and something that I actually use quite a lot, where you actually can get magnesium water, you can get grapefruit water, you can get still or sparkling. There's a number of choices, and the best news, it's available 24/7. Guests can go and just help themselves. They can enjoy that anytime that they like. So that's been also a very popular feature of our ships.
Yeah, I like that. I like the having that availability and the option to go back there to the club lounge and help yourself. That's a great benefit. And um, I want to go back to the adventure host again because I know it's a differentiating feature with Avalon. I don't believe some of the other river cruise lines have a person like that. And I describe, I guess they can be described as a fitness and activity leader, but tell us more about the role that they have on board and how they interact with guests. You also mentioned, take cruising or biking from one port to the next, but go into a little bit more about their role and again interacting with guests.
Of course, and I think it just shows our commitment to the well-being of the guests, and creating some adventure for them is to employing somebody full-time who is on each of our ships. Adventure host responsibility is basically to keep our guests active and helping them with some of the health goals that they might have. So in the mornings, they usually run yoga classes in our panorama lounge. And that's something, once again, our guests do enjoy. It's usually peaceful and quiet. The guests that don't want to participate probably still in bed. So the ones that do want to enjoy the yoga class have that privacy, and we do it every morning, so which is great. Another thing too with adventure hosts, at the beginning of the cruise, you actually can go and connect with them and kind of talk about maybe your goals for the cruise. He will help you with the workout program if you want to maybe do some workouts. We also do on the top deck too, which is really nice. On this previous cruise that I just was on, I saw some guests enjoying some activities and exercises on the top deck. Once again, you are surrounded by beautiful views, and what a nice way to do exercise while enjoying those beautiful, breathtaking views. We also have a gym on board, and we just updated all our gym equipment. And what we have introduced is those machines that basically will get you to be able to work out pretty much all your body parts. And because of the space, of course, they don't take too much space, but they offer a lot of great options for the workouts. So adventure hosts can actually design a workout program and help you with that. But
Mhm.
another thing is, for some guests, they might not want to do that and they just want to do their own thing. Well, those machines actually have a different exercises inbuilt in them, and it has a big TV screen where you select what part of the body you want to work out today, and it's literally will then time you, will show you how to do each exercise, and then will take you through all those steps. So I enjoyed it myself a couple of times on this cruise, and it's really easy, and it's quite fascinating how much you can do with that one machine. So all our ships now equipped with those, and they're available once again for the guests who wants to enjoy it. And one other thing I want to mention, which kind of I guess gets overlooked quite a bit, we do have jacuzzi on board, and so a lot of times people forget that we do offer
Yeah,
them, and it's another part of the healthy activities is to actually go and enjoy some time in jacuzzi. It's very relaxing.
yeah,
Once again, I did it myself a couple of times with fellow guests, and it was really nice. Not only you get to enjoy the views, you enjoy a beautiful jacuzzi, but also you get to meet people and mingle and catch up and talk about their cruise experience. So that's really, really nice. So yeah,
yeah.
Adventure Host pretty much can customize anything for our guests based on their needs and requirements. And he is always available. That's his job. That's what he does. He's there to
Yeah.
get active and keep them in shape.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. I think that's great. And um, I also love all the themed and or special interest cruises that Avalon features. You have wine lovers cruises, jazz lover cruises, culinary experiences, and so much more. What makes these special interest cruises different? Describe maybe some of the itineraries and the benefits experiences taking one of these types of cruises.
Yes, of course. We do, as you mentioned, offer a number of variety of those itineraries. And the beauty about when you do join our theme cruises, like for example, let's talk about wine. We do offer a wine cruise. I have been on a cruise early on this year, which is our gourmet experience cruise, and it's all about our cuisine, and of course pairing with the local wines. The beauty about traveling with us is that we always feature local wines, so we have a great relationship with the local wineries, and so we showcase local wines. And once again, they change every day, so our guests get to enjoy variety. Anything from rosé to a Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, of course, red wines, plenty of options. So on the cruise that I recently been on earlier this year, which was once a year gourmet experience through Burgundy and Provence once again. We had couple of times when we actually had sommelier who took us through this wonderful journey of showcasing some delicious local wines, and then we also did wine and cheese pairing. And so
Yeah.
once again, they highlighted, and of course, we in France, the land of cheese, some incredible options there. And so we had opportunity to taste wine and pair it with unique cheeses. And our guests learned a whole bunch of new things that they didn't know about before. And of course, everything is local, so they get to know destination better that way as well. And then we also had a kind of degustation style dinner where we had quite a few courses,
Mhm.
also paired with local wines. And we had sommelier who kind of took us through each course and explained why this particular wine was a perfect pairing for that particular course. And our head chef joins us on this cruise. And so they create quite a fascinating, unique dinner options. So I mean, for example, one of the courses, it was like what looked like an apple on my plate, but was actually a mashed potato. It was so funny. It was like
Yeah,
it was just kind of like display with the senses
yeah.
and so on. So and then in afternoons we had guests trying oysters. So we had a fresh oysters. and then we had oyster tasting as well. So
Mhm.
those gourmet or wine tasting kind of cruises really kind of get you to be submerged in local cuisine, try a lot of varieties of options, and learn about those food types and wines as well. And another themed cruise I wanted to share, and this one is a special one because we have our spokesperson Graham McTavish, who also hosts a cruise, and it's called Rogue on the Rhone. And so it's a legendary voyage with Graham McTavish. He has a huge following, and the beautiful thing about doing this cruise is you actually get to connect and mingle with this incredible artist
Mhm.
actor, So
Mhm.
not only you get to hear his perspective on the areas that we are visiting, but you get to connect with him, which is very, very unique, which is normally wouldn't happen. And so that particular cruise, I just wanted to highlight an itinerary because it's a great one. It starts in Arles, and then we will finish in Lyon. And so we first of the stops that we do after we board the ship in Arles, and then we will travel to Port St. Louis. And on that particular day, we have few options. So we offer the active excursion, actually two discovery excursions. So one of them is you get to the active excursion is you actually get to get on the bikes and go through the local natural park, and then you will experience the park has about 400 different bird species, and so
Mhm.
including pink flamingos, kind of like last
Okay.
you will think you will see them, but that's one of those experiences where you're like, oh my goodness, who would have thought? So that's our active excursion, and then the discovery excursion is where you get to go to local oyster farm and learn about how they grow oysters, what it takes, what the process is, and then of course you get to taste delicious oysters. So that's Port St. Louis, and then in Arles, I mentioned this, one of our discovery excursions, it is a painting class, and you paint in the style of Van Gogh, and you create your own artwork to take home with you. The active excursion is you do a guided hike, and so you basically will get to learn about that. That is a beautiful city. Actually, I spent a couple of nights in Ireland. Lots of Roman history there, and it's a beautiful scenery to go and actually enjoy the hike. And then we will continue on to Avignon, which is another one of my favorite cities. And one of the active excursions in Avignon that we do is a guided kayak excursion. Our guests will get to on the waters of Pont du Gard. Actually, this is the highest of all the elevated Romans aqueduct. So they will enjoy the beautiful scenery. That area is spectacular, one of my favorites, actually. So that's part of our active excursion that we do in Avignon. And then the discovery excursion is we're actually going to the farmhouse, and we learn how to create essential oils. So I guess we'll get to see the process, and then
Mhm.
get to create some essential oils that we can take home with them as well. So another one, we go on to continue to Vivier, and in that particular location, we have quite a few. Actually, we have three active excursions, one discover and two discovery excursions. Excuse me. So one of the excursions that I really love, and I just did it myself, is we actually go to a local farm where they produce truffles, where
Yeah.
they have two dogs, and those are Labradors, and
Yeah.
they were trained from the young age to look for truffles. They tell you about how long it takes to actually grow the oak trees,
Mhm.
and he actually also sells the oak trees. It takes about 10 years for that to kind of for the um,
Mhm.
for the oak trees to mature, and that's when the truffles will grow. So those dogs are trained to sniff them out. So they point where they are, and then
Yeah.
they will dig them out. They'll give dog a treat, not a truffle, but a treat. Too expensive of a treat to give them truffle, right?
Right.
And then one of the dogs has like this bag in their mouth, and so they collect the truffles. And then we go into the home of this family, and we actually get to try those truffles.
Yeah.
And it's quite a fun experience. And also, they pair them with the local wines. One of their neighbors produce local. They produce their
Mhm.
own wine, and so we have a white wine, rosé, and red. And then we get to experience both truffles with those wines.
Yeah.
And then you, of course, can buy some. I actually brought home some truffle oil. It's amazing. All you need, like just a slice of baguette. You can drink
Yeah.
some truffle oil, a bit of a salt, and it's amazing with or
Yeah.
without truffle. But so that's one of those experiences in the year that I really, really enjoyed. And then we go to Tournon, and Tournon is another a beautiful town. Obviously, all these towns are pretty small, but on Saturdays they have a local markets, and so and you can find anything from fruits and vegetables and variety of meats, and of course lots of cheese. And so you can go and explore. What I've done this time, I went and bought a whole bunch of cheese and different salamis and some local tomatoes because they taste amazing. And then we actually on the top deck had a little afternoon snack. So we had some cheese and we got 2 bottles of rosé, and we enjoyed kind of that local experience. But in Tournon, one of our excursions is where you go. They have this famous chocolate store. It's called
Mhm.
Warpona. It's actually chocolate factory, and they have a variety of different chocolates. And those chocolates are all unique because in Europe they use a lot of cacao. I guess I don't know how to say it correctly, but they have a dark chocolate, they have milk chocolate, different
Okay.
flavors. And so you get to learn about how they produce the chocolate, and then of course you can purchase them and bring some home. Of course,
Yeah.
that as well. So those few excursions. Then we end up in Lyon, which is one of the largest cities. There's a lot to do there. People can go shopping if they want.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we do in the discovery excursions, actually, we do a guided culinary walk through the town, and then of course we end up doing a local cooking class. And so then we finish our river cruise in Lyon, and then the next day our guests head home. So this is just a quick overview of this itinerary. This is something that Graham will be hosting in 2026,
Yeah.
but you still get wonderful features of all those options and experiences, and you get to spend some time with Graham, which is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that sounds fantastic. And I know, the taste buds, something for all tastes, and taste buds. Of course, Lyon is a fantastic city known as the gastronomique capital of France.
Yeah.
Avignon and Arles, wonderful cities. Arles has a mini Colosseum. And also Avignon is one site of a papal palace, and um, but fantastic. And I think, what nowadays, many people have lots of hobbies and passions and things that they really are interested in. And it seems like Avalon offers all those kinds of, like we said, special interest cruises that is something for everybody. So,
Yes,
yeah, it's
absolutely.
wonderful.
And we've been really humbled by the number of awards we received from our guests as well and industry wide too. And once again, we always committed to make sure that we listen to our guests and we create those unforgettable experiences for them when they travel with us, not only from the comfort of our sweet ships, but also to cuisine on board, activities, entertainment, you name it. We pretty much have it all. So it will be our pleasure to welcome. Anyone who want to experience Europe on the river cruise. It'll be our pleasure to welcome your guests.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Archie, I thank you for your time today. It's been great, and educational. Learn about all the what makes Avalon special. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, John. It was a pleasure to be here with you.
Take care.